gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
New York on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, the train heading to Yankee Stadium, where today the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Toronto Blue Jays in the middle game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with Ken Singleton and Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. Well, the Yankees have won 2 in a row, 4-2 the final game against the Red Sox, and in the first game of the series against the Blue Jays last night, they win 3-2, and it was a total team effort.
It was a team effort, but a team effort usually starts with pitching, and Ivan Nova continues to impress. He got off to a kind of a shaky start in the first inning, gave up a couple runs, could have been more. Brett Gardner made some great plays, but then he found his curveball, and he got that four-seamer coming back. I tell you what, Brett Gardner did it all last night defensively, and then he hits his 6th home run, ties the game up. And when you get into a close game, defense really helps you. It gives Robinson Cano an opportunity late in the game to come up with a game-winning hit. The Yankees had a big win, and you're right, Michael. It took the whole team effort.
And that win put the Yankees in first place, coupled with the Red Sox loss to the Rangers. Yankees have a half-game lead, 1 in the loss column. Now the Red Sox are the wild card team with a 9-game lead over the Rays. Let's look at today's New York Lottery pitching matchup. Ricky Romero will go for Toronto, 13-9, 2.84. He's had a very good second half. Bartolo Colon goes for the Yankees, 8-9 with a 3.63 ERA. And his last time out, Kenny, probably his best start in about a month.
Yeah, it was on the road. It was in Baltimore on August the 28th, and his two-seam fastball, which he had been struggling with, returned in the ballgame. You can see it right here to Nick Markakis. He got several strikeouts, good movement with the fastball to the outside corner. Cologne pitched well, 7 2/3 innings, 7 hits. He gave up a couple of runs. Zach Britton outpitched him as the Orioles won the game by a score of 2-0.
Well, he's going to like some defense, and Paul mentioned it yesterday. They were flashing it. It was definitely a case of leather and grace, big time. We'll examine the Yankee defense over the last couple of games next, right here on Yes. From the Yankees and the Blue Jays' first pitch. Now, the Yankees are known as a team that hits for power. They score a lot of runs, but big games are won with big defense. And the Yankees, the last couple of days, they've been writing a glove story.
And they're playing big games. And one constant you want on future championship teams is defense. And Thursday night in Fenway Park, I mean, this is a game changer right there. Curtis Granderson comes up with an unbelievable play. And you know, these saved runs, these aren't home runs, but these saved runs. Last night, this is the first inning, but these plays by Brett Gardner saved runs that kept Nova in the game early, gave the Yankees an opportunity to win the game. Defense the last couple of nights played huge.
So the Yankees won on Thursday 4-2. They win yesterday 3-2. All those plays end up winning you the game. We got another game this afternoon. Maybe they'll aim for that mark with those bats. Lineups, first pitch, baseball next on Yes. To nationwide 4G and by IOTV. IOTV offers you incredible HD picture and sound. Get the best in HD free. Beautiful day here in the Bronx. Nice crowd on hand at the stadium. And Bartolo Colon is taking his warm-up. So why don't we take a look at the Blue Jays starting lineup that he's going to face, and it's presented by our friends at HP. The Blue Jays are 69-69 on the season, and they're going to lead off their shortstop, Yunel Escobar. The left fielder is Eric Thames. He'll bat second. Batting third, the major league leader in home runs, right fielder Jose Bautista. Adam Lynn, the DH, will clean up. Batting fifth, playing first base, Edwin Encarnacion. Kelly Johnson, the second baseman, will bat sixth. The number 7 hitter, third baseman Brett Laurie. J.P. Arancibia, the catcher, will bat eighth. And batting ninth and playing center field is Mike McCoy. So let's take a look at the numbers on Bartolo Colon. For the season, he's 8-9 with a 3.63 ERA, about a hit per inning, good strikeout to walk ratio. Now let's take a look at the Jeep Pitchers Scouting Report on Colon.
Bartolo Colon, that's more like it. I mean, his last outing, Kenny, you talked about a little bit in Baltimore. He threw the ball well, only gave up 2 runs in 7 2/3 inning. Great control, Michael. You already stole one of my scouting reports by mentioning this, but he's only has 34 walks to 116 strikes out, so he throws strikes and secure the spot. I mean, we've got everybody knows that CC Sabathia is #1, but 2, 3, 4 is kind of up for grabs right now.
And 5.
And 5.
A lot of stuff.
We're talking playoffs.
Oh, well, you could only go 1, 2, 3 then. They've done
possibly
that.
Yeah, they won a World Series that way
yes,
last
they
time,
did.
didn't they?
Yunel Escobar's ready. So's Colon. Let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch swung on and fouled away, and we are underway.
Escobar is developing into a force at the top of the lineup for the Blue Jays. He's reached base in 54 of his last 61 games. That's what you want leadoff hitters to do. Get on base, set the table.
You sound like you were a big fan of those leadoff hitters setting the table,
yeah.
right?
Oh. They help you print money.
Like going up to the plate and knowing those guys can run, they will score on your hits.
Score from first on a double.
Foul back.
Kenny, you talked about it last time in Baltimore, his last outing, and it was evident early in the game that he got that good movement of that 2-seam fastball, and it comes back right over that outside part of the plate. The ball that lefties freeze on and the righties give up on. The slider there. A lot of times Bartolo doesn't throw his slider until the 3rd, 4th, 5th inning.
Well, he loves pitching in the day. 6-1, 1.88. In stark contrast to his night starts.
There it is right there. That's that comeback, that 2-seam fastball, and it's such a hard pitch to control the way he does, but it just freezes lefties and righties give up on it.
Kind of did everything but sing the anthem. We just heard 2 of them.
And it got me, Ken. I got to tell you, just like I was when I was a player, you get through that first anthem, you'd put your hat on, you realize, oh, I got another one. I sat down today and had to get back up today with the double anthem.
Here's Eric Thames.
It's another one of the young players the Blue Jays are trying to break in. And he's shown some promise. A couple of hits here last night.
I tell you what, Colon right now has just immediately found that release point for that 2-seamer to run right over the inside corner to the lefties. Strike. This is the way I love to see people pitch, is with that 0-2. Why waste a pitch? You know, throw a ball in the dirt and then try to get back to you, where these are 3 unhittable pitches. This is high in the zone and it runs back too. As a hitter, you're so vulnerable 0-2 because you've got to control the whole strike zone, and you really, it's very hard to do, and pitchers don't realize it. They pitch you back into a count 2-2 by wasting pitches, get you back into a hitting mode.
Phil Cussey's right arm's getting tired here in the first inning. He keeps ringing up strikes. 0-1 to Bautista. Colon deals.
He's only thrown 2 pitches out of the strike zone so far.
He had just an awful start against the Blue Jays on July 14th. He went 2/3 of an inning, gave up 8 runs. So he's getting some revenge. The 0-2. Swung out and missed. Pretty special first inning for Bartolo Colon. 3 up, 3 down, 3 strikeouts. Blue Jays nothing. And the Yankees coming to bat. Match that. The Blue Jays starting pitcher is going to face this Yankees starting lineup presented by Lexus. Brett Gardner's in left field. He'll lead off. Derek Jeter has the day off. Center fielder Curtis Granderson bats second. Alex Rodriguez back in the lineup. You see he's hitting third and playing third as they alternate lefty-righty. And then cleaning up is the second baseman, Robinson Cano. Then Nick Swisher's at first, batting fifth. Batting sixth, playing right field, Andrew Jones. The rookie, Jesus Montero, making his first Yankee Stadium appearance. He'll DH at bat seventh. Batting eighth and playing shortstop, Eduardo Nunez. And Francisco Cervelli will catch. He'll bat ninth.
So it's just a day off for Derek Jeter. Is that what it is, Michael?
Total.
That's it.
Yep.
And if you're going to give a guy a day off, you give him a day off against the guy that he doesn't have great numbers against. Speaking of numbers, 13-9, 2.84 for Romero. A lot fewer hits than innings pitched. He's got good numbers. Let's take a look now at the G pitcher scattering report.
Ricky Romero, August beast to the east. Hates to see September come. He was 5-0 with a 2.05 ERA in August. Atypical, kind of strange. As good a left-hander as he is, lefties hit higher, hit 270, right? He's hit 191. And he's their ace. I mean, he's a guy they want on the mound, opening day starter. Really, he's been there, if you think about it, been their ace since Roy Halladay left there. He's kind of stepped into that position.
Yeah, former #1 draft pick, Romero. You like to see those guys develop into aces.
Oh, yeah.
Brett Gardner takes inside, had a big 2-run home run in last night's game. We have a little bit of a change for the Blue Jays. Eric Thames, who hit in the first inning, moves over and onto the bench for Dwayne Wise in left field.
Got his feelings hurt, had to take it in.
I guess.
Just punch out in the first inning. This is home plate umpire Phil Cuzzy. He had a. There's a change in left field.
Wise for Thames, he said.
Check on that and see what happened to Mr. Thames.
Ricky Romero was the first left-hander to win an opening day I saw, and the reason I remember is because of the name. First left-hander to win an opening day start for the Blue Jays since Jimmy Key. Get your attention in the first inning.
Watch Brett Gardner. The target is outside. That's nowhere near the target. It was closer to Brett than it was to the target. Puts him in the spin cycle.
Whoa.
All right, let's check out the Blue Jays defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. We've got Wise in left now, McCoy in center, Bautista in right. Then the infield, Laurie, Escobar, Johnson, and Encarnacion third to first. Aaron Civia behind the plate, and Romero is on the mound.
Michael, can I use your whiteout? I'm going to put Wise on my lineup sheet over here.
Kenny is the one who
Here you go.
carries the whiteout.
There you go.
This is fun.
I got a backup too in case Michael needs it.
How's that look?
Looks good. What's scaring me, though, and I don't even know if you realize it, you finally have a pen that has no ink in it.
Oh, I am running a little low on there.
It's not a little low. There's no ink in there. There's a big pen with no ink.
You know what? It's still getting action out there. That's all that matters. It's like a car being on empty. You're still moving.
Popped up. Off the bat of Granderson, McCoy makes the catch for the first out. Let's check out the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. 80 degrees, 58% humidity. The wind is 10 miles per hour, and there's some possible thunderstorms late.
Let's just get rid of those things. If we erase them, they're no longer possible, right?
I hope you're right. Here's Alex Rodriguez. Since coming off the DL 1 for 8, the DL he was on was because of the knee, but he's missed all these games because of his left thumb.
He dove for the ball at third base and kind of jammed it and stretched it, and I broke both of my thumbs that way, Kenny. I don't know about you, but that thumb is locked in a glove, so when you dive, there's no way to, kind of protect it and curl it in. It's locked in that open position where very easy to do.
And he aggravated it. Once he hurt it, then came back and aggravated it again.
Here's the play where Joe Mauer hit one on the backhand. He had to go down and get it. Had no play. That was a base hit from Mauer and an injury. for Alex Rodriguez.
That's the glove hand, and again, when that hand, there's a little slot for that thumb to stay in your glove, and there's no way to kind of brace it. It just stays wide open. It's locked in that glove, and you could really damage your thumb.
By the way, this is the first time that Alex has batted anywhere but fourth in the Yankee lineup this year. Previous 82 games, he's been a cleanup hitter. Today, batting third.
Pitches inside. Gardner, great jump, so he steals second.
Boy, he really did. You knew that even before the catcher threw the ball that he was going to be safe. And I tell you what, Brett Gardner's doing some things last night. All around, probably his best game of the season. He stole bases, unbelievably defense in left field, hit a home run. Can't wait to get to the ballpark after games like that.
I like his start. He keeps his right arm across his chest and he throws it forward across his chest to get his momentum going to second. And now he leads the league in steals. That's his 40th. One more than Coco Crisp.
Alex Rodriguez lines one to right field. It's a base hit. Gardner held up. Didn't know if he was going to be caught. So he moves to third, a single for A-Rod, who's batting in the 3-hole for the first time since 2008. And the Yankees have runners on the corners, one out.
Yeah, these are the type of hits that might bother your thumb. But when you get a base hit on it, you feel a lot better. Gardner probably wasn't going to be waved home anyway by Robbie Thompson. Talking to the Yankee third base coach before the game, he said the outfielder he is most aware of in the American League is playing right field for the Toronto Blue Jays. Says he has the best arm, comes get the ball as quick as anybody. Jose Bautista. He also mentioned Nelson Cruz of the Texas Rangers. Nick Markakis. He said the Baltimore outfield, the threesome out there, is probably the best throwing outfield. But he said those two guys individually, Cruz and Bautista, are the guys he really worries about as far as throwing.
Let's see if that's a double play off the bat of Cano. There's one, and there's two. So they double up Robinson Cano. No runs a hit now. One man left. We've played one here at the stadium. There's no score. Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Gardner, Granderson, and Jones left to right in the outfield. Infield, Rodriguez, Nunez, Cano, and Swisher. That's third to first. Francisco Cervelli is behind the plate, and Bartolo Colon is on the mound. So a 4-6-3 double play off the bat of Robinson Cano ends the Yankee threat in the first, and that's going to bring up Adam Lind. It'll be 4, 5, and 6 in the Blue Jay order.
In his career, Colon has pitched pretty well against Toronto, although he is 1-2 this year against the Blue Jays, but 9-5 in his career.
Fouled away.
Ken, I want to try to get your take on this, and I'm looking at Lynn because Lynn is in such an important spot, hitting behind Bautista. A few years ago, he's a 300 hitter. This year, he's out a month. He was back up to 300. Now he's back down to 250. Who is this guy in your mind? Is he a 300 hitter, or is he going to be a 250 hitter with a little power?
Yeah, he's driven in 100 runs in the past, and last year he struggled somewhat. He's having a decent year. I think he'd be closer to 100 if he hadn't spent that time on a DL. He's got 78.
Right.
And probably finish in the 90s. Runs batted in, unless he really makes a good push to get to 100. He's somebody you got to be aware of.
High fly ball, deep right, backing up is Jones, looking up, see ya. A high drive into the seats and right. Adam Lind with a solo home run, and the Blue Jays lead 1-0.
Yeah, like I said, you got to be aware of him.
You're gonna look at this movement on the pitch, and did he get it all the way in with that two-seamer? Did it come out over the middle of the plate? See the target? Bad pitch, but it was up a little bit. Gave Lennon a little more opportunity to get on top of it. And that's the happy zone in Yankee Stadium, right over that auxiliary scoreboard. So he didn't totally get extended. He brought his hands in, but he got to barrel the bat to the baseball, and that's all it takes on a day game in Yankee Stadium when it's warm.
It's his 24th home run of the year.
Grounded in the hole. Nice diving play there by A-Rod. Gets to his feet and fires. And Encarnacion beats it out. Infield single.
The first thing you want to know is, did that hurt his thumb again? Because that's those diving plays. But Alex looks like he was all right.
Stays with it. guns it across, and Encarnacion, with that last leap at the bag, appears to have beaten the play. There's a.
Tell you what, as a player, when you have an injury, you see it. That's not his normal way of catching and getting up on that ball. You kind of subconsciously kind of protect yourself, and you see that other hand really, you know, kind of lessen the fall there, and it was a little slow getting up. Not enough time.
Now the injury is to the thumb and the glove. So backhands are probably a little bit more dangerous because he's putting his weight on that. One 0 to Kelly Johnson. 1-1.
Not saying for sure, but you'll see this. I mean, he makes a play, but he really braces. You see the other hand really braces his fall because you're aware as a player when things hurt. And a lot of times, you know, if you're up and quick, but there's so much going on there, he doesn't have a lot of time to spare. Amazing. Bartolo Colon from the first inning, and it looked untouchable, and then all of a sudden you see a ball leave the park, and then an infield single. Guys are getting better swings already. With a slider there, try to change things up a little bit.
IOTV offers incredible HD picture and sound. Get the best in HD free. IOTV is the official HD service provider of Yankees baseball on Yes. Two. Served into left field for a base hit.
And Kelly Johnson as a lefty, when you get that tailing fastball, best way to stay with it, drive it to left field. This ball looks like it ended up outer half.
Haven't seen much of Kelly Johnson, man. That was almost off the plate. He served it into left field. And was playing for the Arizona Diamondbacks, traded over to the Toronto Blue Jays for Aaron Hill. It's kind of unusual not to see Hill in a Blue Jays uniform. He was a former #1 pick.
There's Brett Lawrie.
We're watching Lawrie here, and he's done something no other Blue Jay has ever done. His first 100 at bats, he has 67 total bases. So he's really come on. 6 doubles, 4 triples, and 7 home runs in 97 career at bats in Major Leagues. So he's gotten off to a good start, and they're making him bunt.
It's a little surprising to me. I don't know if he was bunting on his own or he's trying to. You know what? Let me have a phone and I'll call Butter down there on third base and find out what he's doing down there. Brian Butterfield, the third base coach.
They think this guy's going to be the real deal.
I talked to Butterfield about Lawrie, and he said this guy could be a superstar, not just a star. He said he's got an unbelievable aptitude for the game, and he has power from foul pole to foul pole. They said that Alex Anthopoulos, the GM of the Blue Jays, just made a great deal getting this guy. That's how great he could be.
Well, they did give up a good pitcher, but Sean Markin's a pretty good pitcher. Is certainly helping the Brewers in their quest for the Central Division in the National League. But this guy looks like, and plus Brett Lowry's from British Columbia. He's a Canadian player, so they really love him up in Canada.
He's worked himself into a great hitting count.
Born in British Columbia, 16th overall pick in the 08 draft by the Brewers, 40th best prospect by Baseball America in 2011. His first home run was a grand slam, and when he got back to the dugout, he almost knocked people out. He was so pumped up.
Born in 1990.
There's a strike.
The 2 single.
Here is that grand slam.
Look at these high fives. He's hurting people.
This could be a double play. There's one on to first, not in time.
Tell you what,
Laurie beats it out.
Big guy, he got down the line too.
Yeah, he can run. That's why they think he'd be able to do it all in the big leagues. Watch the hustle. Nunez had to retreat on the high hop, and Laurie too quick for the relay to first base.
He looks as dangerous in the dugout as Shelley Duncan used to look. Shelley Duncan looked like he would knock people out. So runners on first and third with one out. And here's JP Arancibia. Lofted into deep center field. Going back is Granderson. He's going to make the play. Tagging is Encarnacion. He'll score easily. And it's 2-0 Toronto.
So Arancibia, who is second among all the rookies in runs batted in, picks up another one. That's number 66 for him. He only trails Mark Trumbo of the Angels, who's really gotten off to a good start.
You know, it's funny because it's not an unusual play. I read a funny stat yesterday. I think Toronto Blue Jays have hit more fly balls than any other team in the major leagues. So sacrifice fly is just another.
Just another fly ball.
Right.
Pitch to McCoy is a strike.
A better than average fly ball. Yeah.
The 0-1. 0-2.
McCoy kind of takes over the role that John McDonald had. McDonald also went to Arizona in that trade. McDonald was a utility player. Now McCoy is. He's the one that can play short. He can play the infield, third, second. Now we see him in center field today.
Popped up. Shallow right center. No man's land, and it finds grass for a base hit for McCoy as Laurie goes to third.
You know, when you see this catcher's target and it's the high target, this ball is intended to be out of the strike zone, something a hitter can't. And if you get it down here, they can still handle it. You see, if that ball's up a little higher, you'll pop it up even more. It'll get under it. But that ball, you know, you really got to get it up in the zone if you're going to try to show them that pitch.
Just perfectly dropped in between three Yankees.
Those are the balls when you're on the bench and you're not going well. You just, like, how do guys get hits like that? Everybody's out there. Nobody can catch them.
Here's Yunel Escobar, struck out looking in the first inning against Cologne. Popped up, right field. Andrew Jones toward the line.
Ouch.
And he tumbles in, does not make the catch.
See, Andrew Jones not real familiar with right field out there. He kind of coasted into the wall. You got to sprint to the wall. All of a sudden, that lower wall gets there quick. It's funny now that he's walking out, but you can get injured out there. Not a lot of help from the
fans. The plaid
fans.
shirt is what cost him the play because he reached in to make it. Otherwise, the ball was heading into Andrew Jones' glove.
Sorry, no autographs. We saw Escobar the last time in Toronto. His average was into 290, so he's been pretty steady.
good young shortstops if you look at it coming up in the American League. It's been a while since that great trio with A-Rod, Derek Jeter, and Garcia Parra. All of a sudden, you're starting to see a young group of good shortstops coming up again.
Broken bat, popped up, shallow center. Right there is Granderson, and he'll make the play. But the Blue Jays get 2 runs on 4 hits. They leave 2. We go to the bottom of the second. 2-0 Toronto. WAA exclude pitchers from the MVP award and only consider them for the Cy Young award. You can text your vote to 58772. Standard text messaging rates apply, and your choices are easy. It's 1 yes, 2 no.
I say yes, kid. I think Cy Young's an award, and then the MVP is a player, right?
I would say yes too, but there's been precedent set because they've already given the award to pitchers.
The BBWAA is the Baseball Writers Association of America, and they get to vote on those awards. 2 writers from every major league city vote for the award.
Did you ever have that?
Yes, I did have those votes. And you have to be a 10-year BBWAA member to get a Hall of Fame.
And did you ever vote for a pitcher for the MVP?
No, not in the years I did. But not because I'm opposed to it. I mean, there are times that the pitcher's the most valuable player. I don't know how you could just exclude him from the award. Because the Cy Young Award is not the most valuable pitcher, it's the best pitcher. But if that pitcher is also the most valuable player on his team, he should be eligible to be voted. But the one thing that they should straighten out, there are some writers that refuse to vote for a pitcher because they don't think the pitcher should get the MVP.
Right.
Well, unless it's put into the bylaws of the voting, that's not fair. You either include the pitchers or you don't.
Well, there are certain writers who think that everyday players are the ones that should be the only ones who deserve that. Right. You know, and in a way, I kind of feel that way too.
Right. I mean, from an everyday player standpoint, you could go 30-0 as a pitcher, which doesn't happen, obviously, and it would probably help your team win a division, but you affected 30 games, right? And as an everyday player, and if you're playing 162 games, you should affect the outcome of more than 30 games, in my mind.
Let me ask you this, because this is the argument that people have about this, as Andrew Jones fouls ball. If you took Curtis Granderson, who might be the favorite right now, off the Yankees, and you just put another center fielder, let's say you put Melky Cabrera out there.
He's having a good year.
But not the year that Granderson is.
Exactly.
Would the Yankees still be a really, really good team and maybe in first place?
Possibly, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you took Verlander off the Tigers, are they a first place team?
No.
Well, then who's more valuable to a seat? What? That's the argument that people are making about Verlander.
You see, though, but on that particular, a pitcher can have more effect on a ball game than an everyday player. He's got a lot of help in the lineup. You know, it's not that Granderson's hitting 5 home runs in a 5-4 win. You understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well, Detroit is 22-8 when Verlander pitches, and 54-54 when he doesn't.
And they're in first place.
It's a very good argument to have, and you can come down on both sides and make good points. Nice play by Rob Thompson. Paul, I've seen something incorporated into your game since you've been back here that I've never seen before, and I think you might be the only big league announcer that does it. Yeah? You got a bottle of Pellegrino here.
Large, too.
Other people will just have
really
water.
took care of me here. This is a big. This is a Labor Day weekend bottle of water right here.
This is unbelievable.
It's just awesome.
Is that water in there?
Yeah, sparkling too. That's a jug.
It's like you're sitting at the table at some good Italian restaurant.
Yeah, that's right.
That is, by the way, one of the most uncomfortable things for a guy on a date. You're sitting there with a date, and the waiter comes over. Would you like sparkling water, which you know you have to pay for, or tap? Now, everybody wants tap, but you kind of goaded into saying sparkling water because you don't want to look cheap in front of your date.
But you know what? Let me revise that story a little bit. You're talking about dating. When I was dating Evelyn, you see, as we're talking, Michael, he hit a bullet down the left field line for a double. Yeah, I mean, when I'm dating my wife,
right,
I mean, it's Diet Coke or Coke at McDonald's. It's not like we're, you know, I'm 16 years old in high school.
You guys met when you were 5.
I didn't even know what mineral water was when I was 15.
You know now, though.
See Romero upset. You know, you make a mistake to Andrew Jones, especially as a lefty. He'll hit it hard.
All right, that's going to bring up the Yankee rookie, highly touted, 21 years old, Jesus Montero. Those are his numbers at AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre. And his heart must be thumping right now. Made his debut in Boston, didn't pick up a hit, but was hit by a pitch and scored his first big league run.
Michael, you have changed. Jody has changed. In the old days, you wouldn't care what anybody thought about you. Now you're trying to impress people and drink the right water and stuff. You know?
No, you got it wrong, because now that I'm married, Jody and I said, we'll take tap. We're not trying to impress each other.
No, but you're still out on a date, whether you believe it or not.
No, it's still a date.
Yeah.
But it's tap water, believe me. 273 hitter against righties, 328 against lefties for Montero this year at AAA. The 1-1. Good breaking ball strike.
Yeah, he does have a good breaking ball. It's one that kind of slashes across the zone. It kind of drops quickly. Looks like it's going to be a ball, and it drops into the strike zone. Romero's got some weapons. Got a good changeup. And he's 6-1 since the All-Star break. He's really turned it on in the second half of the season.
Swing and a miss. Montero down on strikes.
Yeah, that's that pitch I was talking about. Slash and breaking ball. That's a break on this one. Ooh.
And this is no knock on Montero. You guys have gone through this. There's no Ricky Romero's in AAA. I mean, if they were, they'd be up in the bigs.
You know, Romero comes into the league, great. I get to play against lefties. All right, let's go with Lester, and then we'll go to Romero.
That's
I mean,
right.
are there any average lefties in the major leagues?
He gets Brett Cecil tomorrow.
We'll see, huh?
2 All-Star left-handers.
Yep. All right, here's Eduardo Nunez with Andrew Jones at second. Strike.
Nunez has hit a little bump in the road here lately. He's 1 for his last 20. He was moving right along for a while. There is up to 280s.
You can see in the future, you know, he's going to be an offensive player. He can run. He can do some things with the bat. You know, in our defensive package, Michael, we did, you know, Nunez made a good play yesterday going into right field. He was filling in for Robbie Cano defensively last night. But you know, he made a good play to get out of an inning, too.
Line drive, a base hit over the leaping try of Escobar. Here comes Jones. He will score. It's an RBI single for Nunez. The Yankees on the board, and the Blue Jays now lead 2-1.
Yep, I mentioned he was 1 for 20. He's 1 for his last one now. That's why he's got the smile on his face, and he's also driven in a run. So Nunez gets the Yankees on the scoreboard. Looked like a pitch that, whoa, not a bad one. Just over knee high, just over the reach of the leaping Escobar.
You know, it's funny, young hitters are so quick inside, and Romero tries to get that ball in. What young hitter getting to the major leagues isn't quick to that ball inside, and it shows right there, ball just over his glove.
So near and yet so far.
If he'd have had an outfielder's glove, which is a little longer, just for that one play.
Now it's driven deep to left field. There it goes. See ya! A 2-run home run for Francisco Cervelli. And just like that, the Yankees are up 3-2.
Cervelli homered in Boston in the last series, and now he's homered again. His 3rd home run of the year. And he's been on a streak. He's now 10 for his last 24, and he's hitting 7 of his last 8 games. So Cervelli jumps on this one.
I tell you, as a backup catcher, if you can get a little hot streak, what an advantage for Joe Girardi to be able to play him through some of these day games, some of these makeup games, and have him get in a little hot streak. Hit a bomb in Boston, I saw the other night. Hit this ball well.
He paid for it later, though.
Yeah.
Drilled in the back.
The thing is, you know, 3 runs. All of a sudden, you look at Ricky Romero, and we talked about his scouting report. I mean, here's a guy pitching in the American League East coming in with a 2.84 ERA, and you know, there's something to be said about that, especially in Rogers Center up there, which is a hitter's paradise.
Ground ball, and nice diving stop by Encarnacion, but they can't make the play at first as Gardner reaches.
Again, a great play by Encarnacion, but the thing about it is Brett Gardner's speed makes everything speed up. We try to make the play quicker.
Well, Gardner's okay. It looked like he might have wrenched a hand or his wrist on the bag. First of all, great stop by Encarnacion. You know, he's not an everyday first baseman. And then trying to hit the moving target in Romero, and with the speedy Gardner going down the line. The race is on. Oh,
I think that stepped on him, maybe.
Now, do you guys buy that you get to the bag faster by diving?
It didn't work for me. I hated it, and it just you see so many injuries. But you know, guys that are fast and guys that do it, they just continue to do it. I think it makes it harder for the umpire to read.
Now, it makes sense to dive though when there's going to be a swipe tag, because you're getting out of the way. Good throw. They would have had him.
I think he got spiked there in the arm.
After the bag, after he went across the bag.
Well, take the Yankees with you when you travel out of the Yankees home territory. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see Yankees games live or on demand on your computer and your favorite devices. Visit Yankees.com to order. Get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. There's a strike to Granderson. We get word that Eric Thames, who left the game after the top of the first inning, left with dizzy symptoms. 1-1 now on Granderson. So a big home run for Cervelli, who really has done a great job backing up Russell Martin this year. And since June, he's hitting .349 since June 15th. It's a nice bat off the bench when you want to rest Russell Martin. Runner goes. Pitch is outside. No throw. Wow.
Brett Gardner must have a read on Ricky Romero, because he's had two of the easiest stolen bases he's had all season long. And now 41. There's your league leader in stolen bases. Man, he just went on first move, and Aaron Sibia didn't even bother to throw down the second. Like a walking, you know, you come to those stop signs, you really don't stop. He kind of rolling style. That's what it looked like.
Rolling breaking ball right there as Granderson down looking. But the Yankees scored 3 runs. An RBI single by Nunez, and then this 2-run home run by Francisco Cervelli. His 3rd of the year. Yankees up pump. They lead 3-2. And First Class on Blu-ray and DVD Friday, September 9th. Excellent movie. Saw that movie. Excellent.
Movie buff.
I love it.
You should be the movie critic of Yes.
Okay, let's do it. Lincoln scoreboard, 3-2 Yankees lead. I give it a thumbs up. It was good.
Now, are there any movies you go to you don't like?
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever walked out on a movie?
No, because I always think it's going to get better. Sometimes it doesn't.
About 2 hours into it, if it hadn't gotten better, you got to realize you're getting to the end. You might as well leave.
I'm going to tell you a movie. I'm going to get in trouble.
No, you won't.
That was just awful. I hated it. Hated it. I almost started weeping. It was so bad. I looked at Jody and said, "Really? Tree of Life." Wow.
Did she like it?
No. Although, you know what? She tried to explain what they were trying to do because she went to film school, and I said, "I'm not buying it."
You probably went to dinner afterwards, had a good date anyway.
It was, and Brad Pitt's in it, and Sean Penn.
Good actors.
Grounded foul, just
Dwayne Wise had been with the Blue Jays previously in his career, and now he's back. They were claimed off waivers from the Florida Marlins. 239 with the Marlins, 5 runs batted in, 67 ABs. That tells you he was coming off the bench, pinch hitting in Florida.
Off the bag and over Nick Swisher's try and down the right field line. It's going to go into the corner. Dwayne Wise rounding second. He's going to third. And he's going to stay there with a triple.
Took a while for that ball to come out of the corner. And Wise had a chance to smartly round the bases.
Well, we talked about Wise was, comes out to the game, not in the starting lineup. All of a sudden you're inserted because somebody gets a little injury. Next thing you know, you first at bat, you go with the triple.
That's his second hit since coming to the Jays. He's 2 for 11 now. And his first 3-base hit. See his ball bounce around? No, Andrew got it okay.
Yankees will play the infield back with Bautista at the plate. They'll give up this run. .39 home runs for Bautista. That's number 1 in the big leagues. 1 ahead of Curtis Granderson.
Think about Bautista. He's not just a home run hitter. He's a 300 hitter as well. And he leads the league in on-base percentage. He'll take his walks. You see the homers. 4th in runs scored. First in walks. Yeah, he'll take his walks. 1st in on-base percentage. 1st in slugging.
And if you watch him right now, he's not at his best right now. He's kind of been not what he was at the beginning. He's unbelievable, having an unbelievable year. But you'll watch this hip and the shoulder are both kind of coming out. Early in the year where he was in there was nothing that you could get him out with, and he was taking a lot more walks. It's like he's trying to force it a little bit. Now, I don't care how great a hitter are. There are times of the year where you just don't feel as good as others, and it's usually caused by mechanics when somebody's as good a hitter as Bautista. Just watch that front hip, and it starts to open. That's the ball he can handle, the ball in.
Line drive base hit in front of Gardner. Scoring is Wise. Game is tied at 3. So that is an RBI for Bautista, his 91st.
Kenny, when you start to open that front hip, you give away the outside part of the plate, but you can really handle the inside part of the plate. And that's the pitch that he got right there.
Two-seamer, they tried to run it in on him, and he would have none of it. He's always been pretty quick inside, but particularly the last couple of years, he's been able to load up quicker and get that bat started quicker through the zone. And he's got some good, quick hands.
The guy you really, he's a superstar numbers wise, and you really respect for what he's done. He was a guy that went around to a few teams and worked and worked and worked, and all of a sudden it just became the star. And you got a lot of respect for him to see what he's become.
Bautista is in the discussion for the AL MVP. Obviously, Granderson, I think most people consider him the favorite. 124 runs scored. You've got Bautista, Gonzalez, Ellsbury, and we talked about Verlander already.
You talked about last night that you can only put 5 guys on the screen.
That's true. I got yelled at for that. Let the secrets out. Yeah, Bill Baldwin went nuts.
But we have trouble getting all 3 yes commentaries on because of you. We can only put 3 when we throw the.
Well, you talking about the size of my head?
We go 2.5.
Wow.
Really. Kenny and I get half an ear lost.
Okay, great.
If you put the Cy Young candidates up there, as they should be separately, Verlander, I think, jumps to the front.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
No doubt about it. As good as CC Sabathia is, I don't think that he can, you can say, Verlander's just had that year.
Jared Weaver's in there, too.
Oh, yeah.
1-1. 2-1. I think my head looks pretty small right now.
But see, we have to go vertical. We can't go horizontally when we go to the sports.
You know what? You and I done for the weekend. You can talk to Kenny.
This is a holiday weekend, Michael. We can't break up now.
We're broken up.
It's hard to do.
2-1. Popped up. Alex Rodriguez will make the play.
Mixed in a changeup to Lynn and got him out front.
You don't see a lot of changeups, Bartolo Colon, but you saw one there. Lynn hit a home run last time, got him out on his front foot that time. You see just
he loves it.
Out front, popped it up.
I say Don Wakamatsu there. He's on the left wearing the sunglasses. The other his coach is Luis Rivera. And we mentioned that Wakamatsu is the interim manager taking over for John Farrell, the Blue Jays manager, who's been on the shelf lately with fighting a bout of pneumonia. And he should be back pretty soon. I wish him the best of health.
Line to left field. Gardner makes the play.
Encarnacion's having problems getting it by Gardner. Last night he hit a rope out there. Gardner hauled it in, and this one he hit on the nose as well. And Gardner goes back and has a little leap and hauls it in. Encarnacion, he's got to hit a little softer, a little harder.
I talked last night about you're so used to seeing Mark Teixeira just make all the plays at first base. And Brett Gardner is kind of the same way. And Kenny, we've all been there where you hit the ball hard and you're not rewarded. Actually, last night I thought he had a great at bat off Mariano. Mariano busted him in a couple times, and that last out of the game, I actually thought he got that ball. Flew out to the warning track. So he's hit some balls hard. Got anything out of it this series.
Yeah, he's another guy who's hitting over 300 since the All-Star break.
Well, people forget sometimes about Gardner. He's a center fielder by trade. That's not the easiest transition. The ball comes at you differently. And he's become the best left fielder in baseball defensively. And that's not just my opinion. That's the defensive metrics. He's the best. They list him as first. There's a strike.
That's another thing that's just come out. I mean, how new is that? The defensive metrics?
I think it's really coming to the forefront maybe in the last 5 to 8 years.
It's been that long.
Well, this kind of supports what you're saying, Michael. Brett Gardner's average of 2.33 putouts per 9 innings in left field is the highest in the American League and second highest in the majors, behind Arizona's Gerardo Parra, who's a pretty good left fielder. So he catches more balls in left field than any other left fielder in the American League per game.
Which usually means he gets to more fly balls than anybody else, too.
More range.
The 0-2. Strike 3. Kelly Johnson down looking. But the Blue Jays tie the score. 1 run on 2 hits and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the third. It's a 3-3 game. And a time when our city showed its strength and resilience. Thursday night, the Yes Network examines the role New York sports played in the city's recovery, featuring interviews with Yankees Derek Jeter, Mariano Rivera, and our very own Paul O'Neill. 9/11 Remembered premieres Thursday at 10, right here on Yes. Go to the bottom of the third inning, and Alex Rodriguez will lead off. Alex singled to right in the first inning. On the Lincoln scoreboard, it's a 3-3 game. Rounded to short. 1 away.
Paul, did you ever have any injuries during the course of the year where you were out for a month and then you tried to come back? And how long did it take you to really get a rhythm again?
Yeah, I always say that if you go on the disabled list and say you're on the disabled list for 21, 23 days, something like that, it's really like a 30-day disabled list, because when you come back, it's just not like you step right back into it. It takes a week or so to get your rhythm of hitting and moving well and trusting whatever injury you had that it is gone. So I think it's harder on everyday players and pitchers. I think pitchers can, kind of get game situations a lot easier than everyday players.
One thing that they have now that they didn't have when I played, you could go out to minor leagues and rehab.
Yeah.
They didn't do that then.
Yeah.
And you just kind of force-fed back into the lineup. That gives you a chance to get a little bit of your rhythm back. But it's not the same as facing big league pitching.
Grounded to first. And there's 2 away.
So he's given Robbie 2 good curveballs. One, Robbie hit into a double play, and that ball, as a left-hander, you almost wait too long and you kind of jam yourself. You pick it up and you readjust, and you see him right there, you just swing late. You see this little hesitation, and that's where you're picking up the seams of the baseball. You see it's a curveball, and you adjust to it, but you're just slow.
That's going to bring up Swisher. He grounded to short. That was in the second. 3-3 game. Bottom of the third. 2 outs, nobody on. Pitch outside, 1-0.
He's got a little tint on those glasses, doesn't he?
One thing, he's got a nice little power streak going too. I'm looking up at the scoreboards. 7 out of his last 14 hits, 7 out of his last 14 hits have been home runs.
Yeah, that started in the road trip in Baltimore. You know, one of his favorite parks to hit in, and yours too, is Camden Yards. And
yeah.
He hit one on the Utah Street.
And he walked him on 4 pitches.
Romero gets 2 quick outs, and the next thing you know, you get ball 4, and all of a sudden you're a couple hits away from being in a rally again. So I think pitchers sometimes, they put so much emphasis on getting that first out, then they get the second out, and then they almost relax. And the next thing you know, you have trouble getting that third out.
There's Andrew Jones. He doubled in the second inning. There's a strike. First half of the year, Jones looked lost. He didn't seem like he can contribute to this team. But since the All-Star break, a completely different player, really effective. Power, getting big hits, playing the outfield well. And we've told this story before. His hitting got turned around. His mom said, "You're off. Your stance is off. Your feet are too close together." So he spread his stance out a bit, and he's been a different hitter. Who knew your swing the best? Was it your dad?
Yeah. My mom, not the biggest baseball fan or sports fan. So, we talked about it, more into reading and knitting.
Yeah.
My dad was a real sports buff and loved it, but he never really talked mechanics.
Could he see you on TV, like when you're playing for the Reds and the Yankees, and call you up and go, "You doing this?"
No, it was funny because I think he was so excited just to see you play a Major League Baseball game that it was, he's one of those guys that always saw everything positive. It's just like, oh, it won't last long if you're going through a bad time, or great swing when you got a hit. There was nothing negative in his voice.
How about your dad, Kenny?
My dad more or less would call me and cheer me up if I wasn't going well. Taking a call, strike 3 or something.
Jones might hear from his mom. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 man left. We've played 3. It's a 3-3 game right here on Yes. Quit line quiz. Let's check out what the question is. After Roger Maris in 1961, 4 Yankees have finished the season with at least a share of the American League home run lead. Who are they? Wow. Pitch is low to Laurie. I think I know 2.
I think I know 2.
So if we come together, we have the answer.
Yeah, we probably have the same,
overlap.
Same
Yeah.
2.
I think one of them's in the game right now.
I do too. But I think we should end our speculation, at least verbally.
We'll just look at each other and our eyes will tell the story. The 2-1. 2-2. Pop foul and out of play.
Bartolo Colon came out. First inning unhittable. Second inning kind of gave up some stuff. Then last inning threw the ball well again. Off to a good start here in the 4th.
Strikes out Laurie. That's his 5th strikeout. 3 of them came in the first, what Paul's talking about.
Yep, that's that pitch. The two-seamer. You said, what did you say, Paul? Right-handers give up on it? See him give up? Caught the corner. At least enough of it for Phil Cousins.
The thing is, if you look at an overhead view, I mean, you really have, as a hitter, you pick up the ball, out of the hand, and then you make a decision if it's in, that lane of a strike. And if it's wide, you as a hitter, you give up on it, and then as it breaks in, you've already committed it, and it's over with. And that's the, what pitchers do is try to make you give up. And there's nothing worse than that outdoor breaking ball from a righty to a left-handed hitter that never really reaches the plate. You can't reach it in the hitting zone, and that's why it's so frustrating when the umpires call. Oh, there's a young guy that just made a memory, right?
He'll be back. Look what I got. That's what we were talking about.
Aaron Sibia down on strikes.
In Cologne, when he can just pinpoint that two-seamer, and there's not too many guys that you see around the league that have good control of that two-seam fastball in the outer half to righties, inner half to lefties. I mean, he could be a one-pitch pitcher when he's completely on with that pitch.
We just get word that Brian Butterfield was ejected after Kelly Johnson's strikeout that ended the third inning. So Torey Lovello's playing, or being the third base coach right now.
I'm a little disappointed. I'm looking down there. I don't get to see Butter the rest of the game.
No, well, he'll be watching you.
I really want to know what he said, because Butter's got a lot to say,
Johnson was called out on strikes. In a way, I'm disappointed, but he didn't get his money's worth.
That's right.
Yeah.
Out here and come on back out, Butter. Let me get your money's worth.
He comes out now, it's really going to cost him.
That's right. If you want me to help.
Right now, I know exactly where he is. There's a little film room just to the side, and he's sitting with the video coordinator for the Blue Jays, Brian, also his name Brian, and they're going to pick apart everything we say, and then we'll hear about it tomorrow.
Mean we're supposed to be on our best behavior? Is
Not
that
really.
what you're saying?
Give him something to talk about. The 1-2 fouled away by McCoy.
Well, Cologne has struck out 3 in a row, and like he usually does, call third strikes. 4 of the 6 strikeouts have been on call third strikes. He gets the majority of his strikeouts on call strike threes. 53% of his strikeouts this year call third strikes.
So you kind of hump up right there, 96, but that comes over the top. That's a four-seamer, and you won't get that movement towards the outside corner there.
I correct myself. 5 of the 6 have been on call third strikes.
And now it's up to 55%. Swing and a miss.
Good pitch.
So he struck out 4 Blue Jays in a row. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's a 3-3 game right here on Yes. Yankees have finished the season with at least a share of the American League home run lead. Who are they? We'll tell you after this pitch to Jesus Montero. And he taps it slowly past Romero. They got him. He was that close to his first big league hit.
Well, the hustle down the line, and Johnson makes the play, gets him by about a half a step. Yep. There's Encarnacion. That's a tough play for a first baseman, because the second baseman has to get it there quickly, and throws a little off the line, but he stays with it and makes the play.
All right, so here's the answer. Let's see. 4 Yankees.
Greg Nettles one of them.
I knew Alex.
Mark Teixeira and Reggie.
Reggie's here on the weekend, too. Saw him last night on TV. Saw him in the locker room today. Actually saw him down by the batting cage underneath today. Both teams didn't take batting practice today on the field.
Bunted foul.
I believe Reggie hit 41 home runs in 1980.
3-3 game. We're in the bottom of the 4th.
Kenny, you brought up a couple trades that had Arizona mentioned in him, and we were talking last night. Arizona had a big game. They had their general manager had threatened to shave his head if they won their 10th straight. They ended up losing last night, so they were stopped short at 9. Mike, help me out with this now. I leave the ballpark last night, right?
Right. And
I'm driving, because of the new ballpark, we go a different way, and I'm driving under, what's the subway you drive under? Is that the L train?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm going up there, and I'm looking over, it's, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
Right.
I look over, there's barber shops open. I mean, who gets their hair cut at midnight? Is that something that happens here? Or?
It's more of a social event. People
Is
go
that
there
it? You just hang out in the barber shop?
Go out and talk and stuff.
I looked at the driver, I'm like, you ever have your hair cut at midnight?
Probably talking over the game.
Might be.
And they get Nunez for the second out.
By the way, the year that Reggie led the league in home runs, 1980, 40, that was the year he hit 300. The only time he ever hit 300 in his career. So Reggie had it all working that year.
You know what I saw in stat for the game that surprised me, and you always hear about Roger Maris in '61 that he hit 61 home runs. And I just assumed, he had an unbelievable year as hitting 320, 330. He had 260 something.
Yeah, he did. He was strictly going for the bombs that year.
He was locked into them, too.
Here's Cervelli. 2-run home run his last time up. And now he lines a single with center field. He is locked in.
I'll tell you what, he's hitting the ball hard. He's hitting home runs, hitting the ball up the middle.
Yeah, Maris hit 269 that year, Paul. Line drive off the batter, Cervelli. He's just, right now, as Michael said, he's locked in. He's a line drive waiting to happen. And he has one into center field. Ooh, right over the pitcher, right over second base. Thing of beauty.
Here's Gardner. He's walked and he's singled. He has 2 stolen bases.
Tough pitch up and in from a lefty. That ball runs in. That's that 2-seamer from a lefty that will come up and into you. Hard to handle. See the movement just keeps on coming in on your hands. You're not quick enough to get to it. Look at, you talk about Andrew Jones, and you look at some other guys that were off to so mediocre starts. Brett Gardner offensively been much better. Nick Swisher last month and a half been a totally different hitter. So I mean, those guys have really picked up what the Yankee offense have done. You've had some injuries with A-Rod out, Teixeira's out, and you're still scoring runs and winning games. Shows the depth.
I'm telling you, better not fall asleep on Cervelli over at first. He's stolen 4 bases without being caught.
I'll tell you one thing, if Brett Gardner has told anybody what he's seeing, because the jumps he's getting stealing bases, he's going to make it easy for anybody.
Between Cervelli and Russell Martin, Yankee catchers are 12-1 stealing bases. That's impressive when your catchers are doing that, right? I wouldn't say that if Flash was here.
We'll be here Monday.
All right, that's it for that stand.
Last time you hear that one.
Goes and he's picked off. Throw to second. They got him. So he does not see the same thing Gardner sees. He was caught stealing 1, 3, 6 to end the inning. No runs a hit. Nobody left on base. Why don't we go to the 5th? It's a 3-3 game right here. Yes. And it's the top of the order for the Blue Jays against Bartolo Colon. The lines are identical, 3-6 and 0. It'll be Escobar, Wise, and Bautista here in the 5th. Colon has struck out his last 4 batters faced, and he has 7 strikeouts in 4 innings. And Escobar fouls it back. The Braves don't seem like they make a lot of mistakes when it comes to young players. And they might have made a mistake with Escobar. They traded him to the Blue Jays. He's a legitimate player. He can hit. Got good hands, pretty good arm and short. Ground ball to second. Not running very hard to first base. And there's one away. Yankees Baseball on Yes is brought to you in part by X-Men First Class. Bring home the first summer blockbuster of the year on Blu-ray and DVD Friday, September 9th.
You gave that the thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Might have to get that.
You watch movies at home?
Well, I'm more of a winter movie watcher.
Okay.
During the summer, hopefully there's something better to do than sit on the couch. Yeah, I like movies in the winter.
Pitches outside, one of them.
I'm one of those guys that's like, oh, I want to see that, and then a week later I'm like, what was that movie I wanted to see, and it's already at the theaters, and you forget about it.
Kenny, I was wondering, when you do go to the theater, do you get the Tubbo popcorn?
Oh, you know what you do? You get popcorn and you get peanut M&Ms and you dump them in there and you mix it all up and you never know what you're going to get. It's awesome.
Because it's dark in there?
It's just a good mix, you know?
See, I'm not sure I like that, because you don't know if you're going to bite into something hard or something softer like popcorn.
But for some, the sweet and salty thing works, I'm telling you.
Interesting.
Give it a go. I know you'll be at a movie soon. You're not one of those guys who take their own popcorn, right?
No.
Oh, who does that?
There's people out there. I don't want to name any names, but there's people out there.
The 2-2. Well, I mean, when you think about it, though, the popcorn it's exorbitantly priced.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're in business. They got you. If you're in the movie, you got to have popcorn. What's the alternative? Don't have anything?
Yeah,
just go for the movie alone?
So you might as well stay home and watch a DVD, right?
I mean, you don't have anything in your hands when you're walking. People are going to look at you funny.
They'll call you cheap, one of the two. Huh? Relaxed here today, Mike. It just feels like a holiday weekend.
Very chill.
The city was kind of empty today.
Traffic's been awesome.
Everybody's on the shores
before they get their keys in.
That's right. See you later. That one's driven deep to right field. Going back, Andrew Jones on the track at the wall. See ya into the Yankee bullpen. Dwayne Wise didn't start the game. He came in after Eric Thames left with dizziness, and all he's done is tripled and scored and now homered and given the Blue Jays a 4-3 lead.
I'll tell you what, for a young player, sometimes not knowing you're going to play is the best thing for you, because you don't sit and overthink things, and you don't have hours to kind of exhaust yourself mentally. All of a sudden you're just thrown into the lineup, and sometimes your talent just comes out before you figure out what happened. Wise gets in the lineup, doesn't know he's going to play. Triple, home run.
First triple and first homer with the Blue Jays. That's down middle. And he puts a good pass on it. And Andrew Jones is quickly going to run out of room here.
There's a strike. Dwayne Wise is always going to be remembered as a guy who made the play that saved Mark Burley's perfect game in the 9th inning. Just one of the great clutch plays ever when he was at the White Sox. Bautista.
Oh, he had a shot to be on play of the day.
Just missed it.
Good effort.
In and out, heartbreak.
Pitch is high.
Tried to get Bautista to offer that. He
got a strikeout earlier in the game. First inning, got a strikeout on a high fastball up out of the zone. but he really had that two-seamer in on his hands to kind of set it up.
The 1-2. Tap back to Cologne. Fires a fastball, a swisher for the second out. We talked about Wise's catch in the perfect game, and here it is.
Oof. The catch is one thing. He's juggling it on the way down and maintains the ability to hold on after hitting the ground.
Ends up being a perfect game.
Perfect game.
I mean, that's
and that was the second out in the ninth.
Yeah, I mean, that changed. You know, Burley, you hear about him now and you remember perfect game, and you don't think about that play unless you're really in the, you know, a baseball fan. I mean, that changed the life of some guy. What a great play.
I think don't the White Sox have that play immortalized on the wall out there in left center? They have that picture of him going up against the wall.
Yes, it's called the catch.
Yeah.
As Lind is gunned down by Cano, and that's going to do it. But the home run by Wise has given the Blue Jays a 4-3 lead as we're halfway through. Cole, once again, the question: should the baseball writers exclude pitchers from the MVP award and only consider them for the Cy Young award? You've been texting your vote to 58772, and here's how you voted. 55% say yes. 45% say no.
It's close.
Gardner takes a pitch upstairs. Changed defensively for the Blue Jays. Mark Teahan takes over left, and Dwayne Wise goes from left to center. So now Mike McCoy is out of the game. Now I have that wrong. McCoy actually went from center field to short, so Escobar is out of the game.
We told you that McCoy can play anywhere.
And he also stated, Michael, that Escobar didn't run to first real well. Whether that was an injury or whether he was dogging it, either way, Wakamatsu figured it was time to get him out.
Yeah, pretty much walked to first base. Now I think that would be great. Let's say he walked to first base and he wasn't injured and the manager takes him out. I think that sends a pretty powerful message.
It's not the first time that it's happened that managers pull the player for just jogging to first.
Here in New York, on the other side of town, I believe that Gil Hodges actually pulled Cleon Jones off the field on left field. He walked out and pulled him off the field because he wasn't hustling.
What was it in Boston? I mean, why did Billy Martin, he took out Reggie in the middle of an inning? What was that?
He didn't think that he was hustling in right field.
Right.
Reggie didn't agree with him, but that was in Fenway Park, and the famous nose-to-nose in the dugout where Elston Howard got between the two of them.
Bobby Cox took Andrew Jones out of the game in Atlanta.
Good breaking ball there, just misses inside. So Romero thought he had it.
Maybe a little around the plate.
Close. That's the ball right there, the one that kind of freezes, because it'll freeze you as a hitter because it's right at you. The one out over the plate, you know is going to break away, kind of goes to your barrel, but that one right at you can freeze you. A lot of times you'll see so many left-handed hitters, and then you'll face, as the Yankees have, you'll face a good left-handed hitter, but the Yankees lefties have done such a good job at handling good left-handed pitching like that. And again, you see Brett Gardner, the way to do it, stay up the middle, stay in there, that it's really not an advantage like it was in the old days to throw a lot of left-handed pitchers at the Yankees.
Brett Gardner with 2 hits today, first 2-hit game since August 16th. And Kenny, you saw something in Boston, and you kind of predicted that this run was going to start with Gardner.
Well, you can see how he was making his outs. You know, before, when he was really struggling, he was striking out and, you know, popping up. He was late on pitches. And all of a sudden, he started hitting the ball a little harder. Yeah, maybe wasn't getting any hits, but you say, well, he's coming around. It's starting to come out of it.
It's funny all the time. You know, I remember you see Brett Gardner, just a great approach with 2 strikes against lefties. Stay right up the middle. Ball was up in the zone. Was able to handle it. But I remember Jim Cott used to always come to me when I was slumping and struggling and say, you know, I can see it. It's just coming around the corner. And as a player, you don't want to hear anything about coming around the corner. You want to be there right now. You don't want to wait another 3 or 4 days because it drives you crazy. But a lot of times, and Kenny, you said you saw some things happen, and it's just a matter of time when certain things start happening as a hitter that it's going to turn around. Patience isn't a good thing when you're a hitter in a slump. Believe me, you want it to happen right now.
Look out.
I'll tell you what, Ramirez let a couple go up and into lefties.
He's buzzing the tower right here.
And I tell you, that's over his head. And the reason this is a scary pitch to a lefty is because you're staying in. You see that front shoulder not move? Well, you actually lose the ball because, you know, the left-hander will deliver it kind of over out in here somewhere, and you actually lose the baseball. And that's a scary feeling as a hitter.
Here's that setup by Gardner.
Slow ground ball to second. They get the force at second. And that's a beneficial switch for the Blue Jays as Granderson, who also has speed, but certainly not 41 stolen bases, he takes over at first.
You got to be sure of getting that first out. And you're right, Michael, to get that out with Brett Gardner at second, very capable of stealing third also. See Gardner, I mean, he's as fast. That should be an easy flip. Everything happens defensively so much quicker when there's speed on the bases. You got to make sure of things.
Here's A-Rod, 1 for 2 today. Pitch outside. We get word that Escobar left the game with a jammed left wrist, which really shouldn't have any impact on jogging to first base.
Yeah, but as a player, you know, you take a kind of a weak swing and you know that something hurts. It's frustrating. You just, you know, it's more of frustration than trying to show somebody up and not hustle. And, you know, Escobar's a good player. You showed some things last night that I really loved. I mean, that throwing error that he had, how he got in the umpire's face. I mean, he's into the game. And enjoy watching young players that come out and get mad at times. See a lot of inside pitches, Alex Rodriguez. I think it's almost a written rule when a guy has a thumb injury, a hand injury, wrist injury, that you're going to make sure that you stay in on him a lot. Make sure that, you know, he's quick enough.
Well, he's got to hit one of them just to get him away from there.
Right.
Takes all the way on 3-0.
Saw that target even on 3-0. The target was inside. They're going to try to bust him in. Kind of a little cut fastball in on his hand. Really hard to get to, especially when you haven't played in a while. You don't feel like you're real quick. Kenny, remember when you would foul a ball off your foot? You knew exactly what was coming. They'd throw another slider down and in there to try to make you do it again.
Thinking that you wouldn't swing as hard.
Yeah. Change up there.
Alex Rodriguez up in the count 3-0. He ends up striking out. Let's take a look at tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios. Visit us online at verizon.com/getFios to get the best deals on Fios. Lefty Brett Cecil will go for the Blue Jays, 4-7, 4.51, and a left-hander CC Sabathia for the Yankees, 18-7, 2.99. Our coverage will begin at 12:30 with the pregame show on. Yes, first pitch right around 107. There's CC.
Robbie's made 2 outs today on curveballs. You almost wonder if he's going to make an adjustment. Such a good hitter.
Or Romero makes some adjustment because he knows he's a good hitter, and you can't get him out consistently the same way, or else you shouldn't be able to. 99 runs batted in. One away.
Driven to right field. Bautista is there, and that will do it. No runs to hit, no errors, and 1 man left. We've played 5 here at the stadium. The Blue Jays lead the Yankees 4-3. New York Yankees. We go to the 6th inning. Edwin Encarnacion leads off against Bartolo Colon. And the Blue Jays lead 4-3. Fastball strike.
Colon's been up with his fastball a little bit. I mean, that two-seamer that he runs back out over the outside part of the plate, that's been his bread and butter today. All over the plate again. Encarnacion, you can see he's comfortable. I mean, he's swinging. He's taking good cuts. He's hit the ball hard. Been robbed a couple times by Brett Gardner. He's come a long way from where he was in mid-May.
Chopped to short. Nunez. 1 out.
It's a big U.S. Open tonight for you, huh, Michael? Djokovic plays tonight.
Yep. #1 seed.
To sit on the court, or
I'm the line judge.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Do a Kramer.
They like throw a red carpet out for you when you walk in at a grand entrance.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all for Joe. He's got nothing to do with you.
I don't have an ego. Here's the 1-0. Fouled away. A long look for Gardner.
Oh,
and that just missed.
Oh, nice catch.
Being a home run as well.
Getting the high fives. Watch this play.
Yeah. Right there. That's the pitch right there that lefties just cannot pull the trigger on. It's right at your hip, and you know if you go to swing, you're going to get jammed, and all of a sudden it runs back late.
.94-mile-an-hour fastball, and the count is full on Kelly Johnson. Probably Colon's last inning with 92 pitches. Grounded foul.
Michael, I mean, we talked about before the game, still searching. That was one of the pre-games. And everybody knows CC Sabathia would start game 1. Everybody's rested for the playoff. In your mind, who is 2, 3, and 4?
Now, right now,
in that order.
Kenny 2 has to be Nova.
No, but no doubt about that.
But, you know, Joe Girardi brought up a good point when the Yankees were in Minnesota. He said everybody wants these answers now. He said, let's say I say it's going to be player B, who's going to be the second starter. He said, well, player C could have an unbelievable September to change the whole thing. He said, I don't have to make the decision until the end of the year. I mean, maybe that start in Boston sends AJ on a run where he goes 5 great starts. Right. Maybe he becomes the #2 starter. But right now, the season ended tomorrow. It'd have to be Nova.
Yeah, I mean, record-wise, you can't argue with it. You just wonder if, you know, it's a different animal. The playoffs and every day. I mean, you see Ivan Nova, he's had a spectacular year. He's confident. But when you get into that playoffs and all of a sudden the lights are a little bit brighter and the crowds are a little bit louder, all of a sudden you see young players that haven't been through it might not be the same pitcher. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yep. And then you have to decide who you're facing. So are they more susceptible to Freddie Garcia's slow stuff, or would they be more susceptible to something that Ivan Nova throws?
The numbers of the pitchers against certain teams might tell you how to go.
Freddie Garcia very quietly has had a fine season today. Rory takes a strike.
One of the sliders, you haven't seen too many. I think we've seen one or two change-ups and only a handful of sliders. So, you would not expect this from Colon coming into the year. You think this guy's going to pitch a lot like Freddie Garcia does by changing speeds. I mean, he's still a power fastball guy that will 90% or more of fastballs.
High drive foul.
Ran that two-seamer in on Laurie. About the only thing he can do is pull it foul.
Yeah, I mean, that's when you commit to hitting that ball, you're almost better off just hooking it foul to get back into the count. Because all you can do is jam yourself with that pitch.
The 0-2 outside 1-2.
Are we the only American League team playing right now?
Mm-hmm. Only one national. Well, there's two National League teams playing.
Us in Toronto.
Pittsburgh and Chicago at Wrigley Field.
Given out to right field and deep. Jones back. He's on the track at the wall. He'll make the play. 2 away.
Tell you what, Andrew Jones still makes things in the outfield look awful easy. He kind of glides to the ball. And again, I mean, he has not been in right field a lot, so doesn't know Yankee Stadium real well.
One thing I like there, you see him crash into the ball and cover up the glove with the other hand just to make sure the ball didn't come out. It's a veteran outfield move. Right at the end here, he's going to make the catch and then cover up. You stay in there now.
That's right. I'm going to take a beating on this wall, but you stay in that leather.
Here's Aaron Sibia. Sack fly in the second, struck out looking in the fourth. Four 4-3, Blue Jays lead.
The infamous 100th pitch coming up, Michael. So I agree with you. This is probably his last inning. Boone Logan up in the bullpen.
Fouled away. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, when the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Great ratio, 70-30. Strikes the balls. Goes. Popped up. Nick Swisher makes the play for the final out of the sixth. No runs, no hits, one man left. Time now for a sneak peek at X-Men First Class on Blu-ray and DVD Friday, September 9th. Your local Nissan dealer. Blue Jays lead 4-3, each team with 7 hits. Dwayne Wise came in after Thames left in the first inning with dizziness, and all he's done is triple and homer and score 2 runs. Cervelli with a 2-run home run for the Yanks, and Adam Lind a solo home run for the Blue Jays. That's where we are right now, 4-3, bottom of the 6th, and Nick Swisher will lead off against Ricky Romero. Bring back Paul. He's here. Let me bring him back.
Where'd I go? See? I left the room and she knew.
Fly ball right field. Bautista there. Now, Kim Jones, let me in a little information that 26 years ago today, you made your major league debut.
I remember it well. St. Louis, went to the bright lights we talked about.
It was hot, I bet.
Yeah.
St. Louis.
So you were a September call.
Oh, yeah. I was told that day by Pete, Pete Rose called me in and said congratulations, and they're in the pennant race. And, you're probably not going to get much action here, but just sit down, take everything in. I said, okay, great. We go into extra innings that night, and I end up pinch hitting that first night. And lucky enough to get a single my first time up. Should have been a double. I was so nervous I couldn't run to second. Davey Concepcion was on first. He ended up at third. Like I said, I should have been at second, but I didn't quite make it.
So if you think about it, you're a kid from the area. You break in with the Reds. Davey Concepcion's on base. Right. Pete Rose is your manager. That's pretty heady stuff.
It was awesome. And I remember going home that night, and what do? You pick up the phone, you call home. Mom, Dad, did you see that? Did you hear? And they had watched the game on TV. It was on local TV then. And then that's back when every game wasn't on.
Right.
So,
were you on the road or at home?
We were in
St. Louis.
St. Louis. Yeah. Kenny, there's no major league player ever that ever played this game that doesn't remember his first at bat.
Remember your first hit, too.
First hit? Oh, absolutely.
What was the sequence on the at bat? Was it the first pitch?
First pitch.
Oh,
like
so
I said,
it was easy.
He could have thrown it over the backstop, but I would have swung at it.
Strike 3. Jones down looking for the second time against Romero.
Little slider on the outer half if you want to know anything else. Not that I remembered or anything.
We talked about how teams value their #1 draft picks. Blue Jays got a lot of value working today in their battery on the mound. Romero was a first-round draft pick, and Aaron Sebia, the catcher, was a first-round draft pick.
Here's Jesus Montero still looking for his first big league hit, and there's a strike.
Romero in 05, and then Aaron Sebia a couple of years later.
We talked about last night a little bit of where this team is going to go, and they expect in the next couple of years to be able to compete in any division, let alone the American League East. And the reason is because they've done some good things with young players, but they've also signed their big name players to manageable contracts. I mean, you look at Bautista's contract. I mean, he's a bargain for what he does on the field. He's not in the hundreds of millions of dollars, and so you can build teams around guys like that, and you don't have to get rid of your stars to bring in other guys and gamble that they're going to give you the same production.
There's only one guy they had to let go. That was Roy Halladay.
Right.
But
2-1 on Jesus Montero. Struck out and grounded to second. Big cut there, and the count 2-2. Oh, wow. How about that?
See that? What was it, 25, 26 years?
26 years ago.
Same thing? Really?
Here's the 2-2. And there it is, his first base hit in the big leagues. And the Yankees hope that's the first of many. He's going to get that ball. And that's going on a mantle somewhere.
Well, he only needs 3,000 some to catch him, huh? See, it's a breaking ball, and there goes that ball that I'll never see another major league field. Go into Gene Monahan's training room and be all marked up tonight.
Gets a nice hand from the stadium crowd, and that's got to be a relief for Montero. The longer it goes, the more you think about it.
Got a major league batting average now.
It was a breaking ball. Stayed back on it. Hold it in the hole.
Quick wristed it, too.
Always good to get your first hit off of a. Maybe that's a little reaction, but these fired up inside, and he got it off a household name too, Ricky Romero.
Yeah, an all-star.
An all-star pitcher. Talk about the time that you have between at bats as a DH. Don't think he's not going to go in the clubhouse and walk around and it'll sink in. I just got my first major league hit.
Probably go in there and watch it again.
You might. That's the new things in these rooms. There's so many videos. You can go in and watch every at bat. Well, he's got a videotape now. He's got one at bat where he's got a hit. You keep your hits. Get rid of the bad at bats. You don't want to look at them anymore.
This guy is so highly thought of that Brian Cashman, the Yankee GM, said he is the type of hitter who will see his first hit like Manny Ramirez and Miguel Cabrera of the Tigers. Popped up first base side, Encarnacion can't reach it. I mean, that's high praise. Manny Ramirez, despite the ignominious way that his career ended, I mean, he was considered an unbelievable hitter.
The thing is, I mean, Cash has seen a lot of talent come in and out of these stadiums, the new and the old, and you don't hear a lot of him say a lot of things about young players like that. So got to take that into consideration.
The 1-2, grounded foul. Right now, I mean, it's been a couple of minutes. Are his feet touching the ground?
Oh, it's just, the hearts come down, the heartbeats come down, but still, there's just that feeling that, that
you talking about Montero or the kid who got the ball?
Yeah, kind of in the same boat, right? Trying to do everything right. You see that 2 outs, looking over there. I mean, you're not going to get the steal sign, but you got to do everything right and pick up that third base coach.
This ground ball is short, fires to first, and they just get Nunez for the final out of the 6th. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Jesus Montero, one of the top prospects in all of baseball, connects for his first big league hit. He is now a part of forever. Monday, September 5th, to celebrate Labor Day when the Yankees take on the Orioles. And the first 18,000 guests in attendance are going to receive a hand sanitizer keychain, courtesy of New York Presbyterian Hospital. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window. Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Mike McCoy swings at the first pitch as Colon is still out there in the 7th. He fouls it away. Now they're going to talk about the hit. More congratulations. Dickerson and Burnett. Now he'll smile a little bit. Let his guard down. Cadillac scoreboard. Blue Jays lead 4-3. Top of the 7th. There's a strike. It's 104 pitches for Colon, and his season high this year is 106.
I believe this is probably his last hitter. And on deck.
Got 2 lefties. Teen and Wise, the next couple of hitters.
And Colon deals the 1-2.
Tell those pitches where Colon tries to get that extra movement. He drops that elbow and kind of pushes the ball a little bit, trying to get more movement. That's not the one that he'll throw 96, 97, but it's a lot more movement that way.
Too much movement there out of the strike zone. 3-2.
breaking out the tennis outfit tonight? A lot of people go to the U.S. Open in their tennis outfits.
Never quite understood that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're not breaking out the tennis outfit?
I think you'll be seeing the same outfit.
Is that right?
Yep.
You wearing a tie?
I'll take the tie off.
Said you're going formal on it.
Well, the Yankees have to be so pleased. Here's Bartolo Colon. It's September 3rd. He's throwing 109 pitches in the game. The Yankees never thought that they would get this out of this guy. They gambled, see what they could get, see what they could squeeze out of him. And he's been a rock for them. He really has. Now, 8-9 doesn't seem great, but it seems like every time he pitches, they have a legitimate chance to win the game. Ground ball to third. Nice hop for A-Rod. And there's one away. And that's going to do it for Colon, as Girardi will bring in Logan with the left-handers due up. And Colon's going to get a nice hand. And he should. He's trailing 4-3, but again, another solid outing for a guy who was a non-roster player in spring training. Stadium crowd gives him a warm hand. Boone Logan will come in to face two left-handers with the Yankees down 4-3. Coverage starts at 12:30 with the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then Paul, Kenny, and I are back in the booth with the call. It's the Blue Jays and the Yankees. And it all starts tomorrow at 12:30 only on Yes. After 6 1/3, it's now time for Joe Girardi to make the call to the bullpen. Brought to you by AT&T. Boone Logan will come in. Those are the numbers on Logan. Now, on the road trip, we saw that Bartolo Colon likes to play with the stopwatch. It's kind of a game you see how quickly you can stop it. So, as a reward, Mick Kelleher gives him the watch so he can get a couple of the clicks in to see how quick he is. Unbelievable. That's the first thing he did, Kenny, come off the mound. People have asked me, what's the stopwatch game? It's you hit it, and then you hit it again to see how quickly your reflexes are to click it. And if it's 0.1, that's about as fast as you can go.
Doesn't register anything lower than that.
That's right. Now, some of the stopwatches go like 0.11111. So it could be 0.13, 0.14. It's a great Christmas gift, everybody. Get your kids a stopwatch. They'll have endless fun.
Inexpensive, too.
Very.
I'll tell you what, you say that jokingly.
High fly ball left field. Coming on, Gardner, he makes the play.
That's a shocker. He made another nice play. But days on the bench.
Right.
You would get a hold of one of those stopwatches and say like all three of us were on the bench. You would start as quick as you could, and you'd do time.
I'm playing.
Huh? And you could get less than a half a second if you got real good. Or sometimes you could, if the guys weren't watching, you could kind of cheat and just hit on the bench real quick.
Right.
And get like a .02. I mean, that was like a winner right
now, who was the best? Who had the quickest reflexes?
Well, it was the pitchers, because they had much more practice than the everyday players. They were over there, and they knew how to get a stop and started quicker.
So if you're thinking about buying your kid a Wii or something like that, something expensive,
just a stopwatch.
Just go to a stopwatch. They'll love it.
That's right. We'll bring one up here tomorrow, Michael. I know a few tricks. I might smoke you in this game.
Pitch to Wise is inside. Wise has smoked the Yankees today. A triple and a run scored, and his home run in the fifth is the difference in this game right now. Won't you? 1-1.
Boone Logan, 1.02 ERA at home. Very tough on the road, 4.5. So a guy that a few pitchers don't like pitching there. He does.
Grounded foul.
And Delane Wise's swing. He's getting another satisfied customer.
A lot of foul balls today. Keepers.
Say Dwayne Wise has a quick stroke. He doesn't really take much of a stride. He just basically all hands and arms. Little body turn. It's worked well for him today.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him. So Logan comes on and gets Tian. And also Dwayne Wise. At the end of 6.5 time for the 7th inning stretch. Blue Jays lead the Yankees 4-3, but we're going to stay right here and honor America.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
That's a good one, .1.
I've never seen a .01. See, that's cheating. It's the new electronics. We got to get a real stopwatch.
He's going to break his iPhone.
Now he's choking. Now he's choking. He's all the way up over a second.
There it is, .1.
There it is. Boy, that's a winner. I'll tell you, that's a winner.
We go to the bottom of the 7th inning. Yankees trail 4-3, and here is Francisco Cervelli, 2 for 2, 2-run home run and a single. And he routes out one in deep center field. Wise back and makes the play.
I'll tell you what, Cervelli looks confident. He goes up there, you know, not looking to work the count, looking for a good pitch to hit out over the plate. Good swing on it. Oh, there's hope in the eyes of a hitter that just hit one hard and don't quite know if it's over his head.
Nice run and catch by Dwayne Wise.
God, how impressed he looks out there. That was a good play. Now show some emotion, would you? Like you, dummy. Let
You
that
couldn't
ball
miss- you-
fall.
you couldn't
Look, he's
miss
getting
one.
mean. He's probably seen a few plays out there in his days.
I love that guy. He's got such a great look. Just looks like he's seen it all. Nothing's going to really bother him.
He's actually the gentleman that opens the bullpen door when the Yankee pitchers come out of the bullpen, and he makes sure nobody gets in there either.
Oh, I tell you what, Brett Gardner is kind of ducking into that curveball. Romero's thrown a couple in there. Again, you know, you talked about Romero. He gave up 3 runs and it came in with a 2.8 ERA. So, I mean, this is his typical game. He battles guys. He's got good stuff, good breaking ball, good fastball. Knows how to pitch.
Let's check this out on the Coors Light Freeze.
We're gonna have a stare contest. That's awesome. You know, if he'd have dropped that ball, he probably would have had a smile on his face.
Cadillac scoreboard 4-3. By the way, that guy's Eddie Manheim, and he's on the grounds crew. He's a really, really nice, friendly guy, but he's got that great look. Fly ball to Wise. 2 away.
This is Romero's 4th start. As you look at David Robertson up in the Yankee bullpen, 4th start against the Yankees, and he's 1-1 with a no decision. So he beat the Yankees in his first start. That was right here at Yankee Stadium in April. No decision at the Yankee Stadium. He lost to the Yankees at Rogers Center. In that game, the Yankees really drove his pitch count up early.
just saw David Robertson and what it means. Mariano's not going to pitch today. He's thrown 2, back-to-back days. So if the Yankees do come back, Robertson's going to come in. If the Yankees do come back, Joe Girardi is elected to go with Soriano as a closer today. When Mariano can't go, I would think Mariano with back-to-back days and a lot of pitches he threw in Boston would not want to get up on the hill again today.
Here's something interesting, though. I think Soriano's pitched 3 days in a row. No, this would be his 3rd day in a row.
Yeah.
Mariano looked a lot better
he was sharp last
night. He was very sharp.
Jokingly said, I saw him in the dugout when I was walking through. I said, he was sharp last night for an old guy after all those pitches. And he laughed and said, yeah, he had good stuff. So you saw his true cutter last night, which, it's good to see. Again, Romero has a good way of throwing that curveball that it ends up on the inside part of the plate. And you saw Granderson hesitate, and realize that, you got to foul this ball off somehow.
Granderson. He had one go up and over his head in his previous at bat. And this one he could not get out of the way.
And with being hit by a pitch here, that was a breaking ball. It had no bite except until it hit Granderson. It's the 11th time he's been hit by a pitch this season. Ties Mark Teixeira for the team lead. The Yankees have now had 66 batters hit, and they've only hit 39.
Now, Kim Jones tells us that Joe Girardi said he probably wouldn't have Mo or Soriano. Here's Alex Rodriguez. 1 for 3 today.
Now, Romero last at bat on Alex Rodriguez had 5 or 6 consecutive pitches inside and then struck him out with a changeup. You start him off away hard. See if he goes back to inside or if he completely changes the way he pitches to him. Back inside. Kenny, you said you only have to get him out once, and this is a time where you're up 2-0. Figure if you can kind of guess fastball look in, and even if you hammer it foul, you'll probably get that pitcher out of there. You're right.
This is when the starting pitcher is most vulnerable, though. He's starting to get a little tired. His pitch count's up over 11, 111 to be exact. The bullpen's busy. And that fastball here in the 7th inning does not quite have the zip it had the first, second, or third. You've seen him a few times, so you can recognize his pitches a little bit better. And it won't take much of a mistake.
A-Rod has 2 career home runs on 3-0 pitches. Takes inside. That moves the tying run to second base.
I'll tell you what you say, it's only a walk, but when you're just coming off the disabled list, these are good at bats because you're seeing pitches, you're getting timing together, and sometimes walks can really get you back into swinging the bat well.
Wakamatsu was wondering, should I bring him out? I've got a left-handed hitter coming up to the plate, but it's not an ordinary left-handed hitter. It's Robinson Cano. So he's going to the bullpen.
So Cano had the game-winning hit yesterday. Will not face a frustrated Romero, but will have a chance to at least tie the game when they come back. Refreshing imported light beer, it only gets better. Crowd of 47,744 here on a Saturday afternoon in New York City, the 15th sellout of the year. Ricky Romero now becomes a spectator as the Blue Jays go to the bullpen to try to stop this Yankee rally.
You know, you saw some of his reactions, and you really have to like it. I mean, he's mad when he misses on pitches. He was mad when the manager came out there. This is the right call, though, because you know what has happened? He got Robbie out twice with the curveball. Then he went to a fastball last time up, and Robbie hit right on the nose. So he's seen everything that Romero had. But to be mad to be taken out of the game as a manager or as an organization, you got to love that from a young pitcher.
There's Casey Jansen. Great numbers you saw. And the first pitch is a breaking ball strike. Cano did not like that call. Thought it was low.
Jansen has actually held left-handed batters to just over 200 this year, so he's been effective against both lefties and righties.
3 for 7 against Jansen, Cano is.
By starting him off with a breaking ball, that ball, I mean, he had to look up there and look like 91. It sure looked harder than that.
Runners lead. The 0-2. Fights it off and fouls it back.
Tell you what, Jansen to this point has made 3 good pitches and 1 at bat. That ball right under his hand. Started him off with a breaking ball. Now he's kind of opened up the outside part of the plate if he wants it, or he can go back to that breaking ball. And they had a lot of success last night. Getting Robbie with that breaking ball down in on his back foot.
Count 1-2. Nail biting time for Ricky Romero.
Yeah, he's pitched his way and, you know, giving himself a chance for a victory. He's got to the bullpen, but again, you're looking at Robbie Cano, one good swing, tying this game up.
The 1-2. 2-2.
Paul, you talked about it last night when you're down 0-2 and then you fight the count back to 2-2. That's like a win situation for a hitter. Now you got things back to even. It's just like you're stepping in the box looking for the first pitch.
Yeah, and it's the thing is, it's not only the first pitch. You've seen his breaking ball and you've seen his fastball. Those 2 pitches right there were both wasted pitches. Robbie is not going to even come close to swinging at either one of those. Every pitch, no pitcher wants to go to full count. You get those pitchers running, so an important pitch here.
Granderson leads off second, A-Rod off first. 2-2. Lined into right center field. That's a base hit. And it's going to get past Wise and roll to the wall. Granderson scores. Here comes A-Rod. He will score. It's a big 2-run double for Robinson Cano. And the Yankees have taken the lead 5-4.
Ricky Romero very frustrated, but again, Kenny, I think you hit the nail on the head. You cannot throw this many pitches to Robbie. You had him down 0-2. You got to try to put him away. All of a sudden, you get back, and what it does as a pitcher, it gives you a chance to make a mistake, which he did.
A couple of things happening on this hit for Cano. First of all, it's his 40th double of the year. He takes over the league in extra base hits. And he also jumps over the 100-run batted in mark. He now has 101, all on this double.
Just a great swing. And what Robbie did was battle back to a hitter's count, and he hit a mistake. A ball that did not quite get on the inner half part of the plate. And I'll tell you what, when he has good at-bats, he's fun to watch. He's in my mind, Kenny, I don't know where you put him, but he's in the top 2 or 3 in the American League as far as just pure hitters.
That was the worst pitch of the at bat, and he made Jansen pay. From a pitcher standpoint, that is.
Extends his hitting streak to 7 straight. And also has driven in a run in 5 straight games. Now Cano is now 4-8 again, or 4 for 8 against Jansen. And if you want a second guess, Wakamatsu, he was 5 for 25 against Romero.
Some kind of hit.
If you look at it, the Yankees, they're a great hitting team. Everybody knows that. They produce a lot of runs. They're not a hard team to get ahead of in the count. They're an extremely hard team to put away late in the count. And that's why I think you have to go against what you've been taught as a pitcher. Don't get beat 0-2. Don't get beat 1-2. I think those are your best pitches to get veteran hitters out. But when you're up 0-2, to put them away right there.
Instead of don't nibble.
Yeah. You start nibbling. The guys are too good. They're not a team that are free swingers that are going to swing at balls out of the zone, and then all of a sudden again you're back to full count or 2-2, and then they hurt you.
3 Yankees in the top 5 in RBIs in the American League, led by Curtis Granderson. The 2-2. Line drive, and off the glove of McCoy, and into left field. Cano will score, and the Yankees lead 6-4. And that's a base hit and an RBI for Swisher. And Romero can only wonder.
And you're seeing big at bats from guys that are swinging the bats well. That ball's tailing away. Swisher goes with it. Hits it hard. McCoy just can't olay it and pick it. But I mean, the Yankees right now, if you look at the way they're winning games in the last week, big hits, good defense, good pitching. And they're playing as well as they could possibly play with who they're throwing out there every day with the injuries and the pitching problems and things. It's just, they're playing good baseball.
3rd straight batter that Jansen has started off with a breaking ball strike.
You know, you always hear manager Joe Girardi say, somebody's got to step up. Somebody goes down, somebody has to step up and fill the breach, and we've seen that time and time again.
There's a strike to Andrew Jones.
Yeah, right there, likes to step up. Likes to step up to the plate, that is, right?
Well, Joe Girardi had a little bit of a funky lineup today. It worked out. A-Rod batting 3rd and Cano batting cleanup. And they both had big moments here as Andrew Jones hits one deep to left center. Going back Dwayne Wise, and he makes a play on the warning track for the final out. But the Yankees take the lead. 3 runs, 2 hits, 1 man left. We played 7. Yankees up 6-4 on yes. Partner play. Great partnerships are built on trust. At GE Capital, we prove that every day.
Yeah, the 4 and 5 hitters. GE Capital partner plays here. You got Robinson Cano driving in a couple of runs with a solid double to right center field. That's his 40th double of the season. And the next hitter, Nick Swisher, rips a line drive through shortstop. Cano's going to score. Those are GE Capital partner plays.
No, we saw when Nick Swisher hit that ball on Yesmo, the bat vibrates. Do you feel that in your hand?
You know, well, if you get jammed, you do, but the bat does give a little bit. Even if you hit it on the barrel, it kind of trampolines off of it.
Well, the Yankees now set up for their 3rd straight win if the bullpen does the job. Boone Logan is set up to pick up this victory. David Robertson didn't pitch yesterday. Those are his numbers.
Interesting to see how Joe Girardi goes about trying to finish this game out. I mean, can you throw Robertson 2 innings? Do you match up there? Do you match up in the 9th inning?
And you don't have him tomorrow. If you use him 2 today, he's not going to be there tomorrow.
Hyundai scoreboard 6-4. Maybe Joe roots for a really big 8th inning. The 0-1. High. 2-1. Bautista today has an RBI single. He's 1 for 3. Struck out in the first. Drove in a run in the third with a single, then tapped back to the mound in the fifth. The 2-1. Hit sharply to short, but right there is Nunez. 1 out. Well, you can vote along with us for today's Chevy Player of the Game. Text your vote to 58772, or you can vote online at YesNetwork.com. Here are the candidates. Number 1, Robinson Cano. Number 2, Francisco Cervelli. Number 3, Dwayne Wise. Number 4, Adam Lind. Vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply.
I think Robbie just made a huge charge here, didn't he? Recently in this game.
Here's Adam Lind. Pitch outside. You happy? Count 2-0.
Followed the hot college football today. Starting, right? Who's your Florida boys play today, right?
They just lost to Connecticut big.
Oh, really?
Big.
Sorry.
So am I. The 2-0. 2-1.
Happy to say that my Ohio State Buckeyes could field a team today after having players with all this. We still won.
So you're still calling them your Ohio State Buckeyes after
Columbus.
everything that happened with them?
I grew up in Columbus, Ohio, singing the fight song in elementary school. How am I going to change now?
Fouled away.
Did they have enough players?
Yeah, I think they brought a couple out of the guy who used to dot the I. I think he played center today.
Good to see Jim Tressel got another job as the replay consultant for the Colts. Yeah,
must have been good at video in his coaching days.
Yes. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him. Boy, has Robertson been money this year.
Well, today he's trying to follow in the path of Boone Logan, who faced 2 hitters, got one of them out, and a strikeout. Nice breaking ball.
Well, that breaking ball not only went down, but it went across. And, you know, he has got that overpowering 12-6, but that ball kind of had a little slurve movement on it. Really tough because he throws it so hard. It's got such a tight spin. It's not like a rolling curveball.
Here's Encarnacion. Is that breaking ball inside? Crisp fastball misses away.
All low. And if you look at the strike zone today, I think it's been one of the better games I've seen. I mean, it's been consistent. You haven't seen players arguing a lot.
Bill Cousin
done a good job back there today.
High fly ball, center field. Granderson is there, and in dead center, he makes a play as Robertson retires the Blue Jays in order 1-2-3. We're going to the bottom of the 8th. Yankees up 6-4. Nancy Newman is back in the studio to recap all the action with a look around the rest of baseball. Plus, Kimberly Jones gets the reaction from the clubhouse. It's all coming up later on the W.D. Mason postgame, and that's only on Yes. Well, with the right-hander Jansen on the mound, the Yankees are going to send up Jorge Posada to pinch hit. Now Jansen's actually out now, Sean Kemp, so Posada will pinch hit for Montero. And he gets a nice hand.
Think about the adjustments. Jorge Posada has gone from being an everyday catcher, trying to adjust his way into being a DH. Now it looks like he's trying to adjust his way into being a pinch hitter off the bench. So he's gone through a lot this year as far as what his role has been.
So on the Hyundai scoreboard, it's 6-4 Yankees. Posada 4 for 13 lifetime against Camp. Chopped over the middle. Grabbed there by McCoy. And just gets Posada for the first out.
Kenny, the bad news about Michael's big night tonight, when he makes plans on Saturday night, the invitation to the trellis for desserts, I guess it's off. I thought for sure tonight was the night.
For the trellis? What's a
what
trellis?
do you call the thing?
Oh, the terrace?
Terrace, there, the terrace.
Trellis.
Trellis? It's got a trellis on your terrace, right?
It would have been nice, but I have other plans.
Yeah. You better make them because you can't wait for Michael.
Here's Nunez.
He looked at me like I was nuts. Trellis.
Never heard of that.
Robertson only going 12 pitches. I think you got to stay with him. I think he's going to throw 2 innings. Nobody's up in the bullpen. Camp with that sidearm sink, releasing the ball out there, you get a ton of sink. One of Michael's favorite pictures, the big old hamburger back there.
Well, it's got ketchup on it.
Oh, I forgot. You can't do any of that. Right?
See, now, if you remember, Paul, from your younger days, that Big Mac is 2 all-beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions
On a sesame seed bun. That's right. Don't forget that.
That's right. So I don't like the special sauce.
You used to sing that jingle, didn't you?
Yes, I didn't eat it, but I sang it.
I'm thinking that Nunez has to set sail for second sometime here. He's been sitting on 19 stolen bases for a while. That's enough of the teams. It's about time to move into the 20s.
19 to 20 is a big jump.
Yeah.
Right?
Even when you're growing up.
I mean, when do the kids hit that age where they feel a little responsibility? Is it 20, 21? When is it?
How about when they think they know it all? I think
Well,
it's a little younger
starts
than
at
that.
about 12. Yeah.
Hot shot. Oh, what a play by Laurie. He goes for 1. On to first. It's a double play.
Whoa.
You can see what they like about this kid. That was some play at third. He took an extra base hit away from Cervelli and turned it into 2 outs. 5, 4, 3. We'll go to the 9th. Yankees up by 2. He closes out the bottom of the 8th inning with this playoff of Cervelli.
Yeah, not only does stop impressive, but how quickly he got the ball to second base. Threw a bullet over there so they can get the force. I'm thinking a lot of third basemen get up and they say, well, I got no play at second and just throw to first.
Yeah,
he said, no, I can do this.
You didn't see that little flip throw. That was over the top, 95.
Yeah. That was impressive. One of the best double plays I've seen this year.
All right, so Robertson is going to try to close this out. And the last time he pitched 2 innings was back on May 20th of last year, not this year. He's been so important to the Yankees, and the last thing they want to do is really push the envelope with him. But at this point, Mariano's pitched a couple of days in a row, and so is Soriano. So they decide to go with Robertson for 2.
A lot had to do. Again, he only threw 12 pitches last inning, but still, when you get now you're in a situation you're not used to being in. You're in the 9th inning. You're getting a save situation. Again, I think that, you know, you throw strikes, you get through this inning without trying to nitpick and getting that pitch count up.
You're not messing around.
Fastball is nothing worse than being a hitter, knowing a guy has a great curveball and being 0-2 and haven't seen it yet. Another fastball up in here.
Swing and a miss. Strikes out Johnson.
Kelly Johnson is one of those hitters that he's got some power. He's got 20 home runs, but he does strike out a lot. And he came over to the Blue Jays with 132 strikeouts from Arizona. He struck out 22 times here.
Here's Brett Laurie. There's a strike.
Robertson's doing a good job of not wasting pitch and throwing strikes. And that last strikeout was, we saw a lot of times earlier in the games for Valley giving that high target to Colon, and he was just borderline high, where Robertson hit that high strike zone. First curveball you see there, a good one, missed. It was up out of the zone, a pitch that a hitter can't really handle.
Check that on Johnson. He struck out 10 times since coming to the Blue Jays.
Count 2-1 on Laurie. Missed outside with the fastball. 3-1. Swing and a miss. 3-2.
See, you got a good fastball when you can throw a fastball and a fastball count and still get it by the guys. Reaching out at 94, that was 92.
What do you think here? Curve or fastball?
You know, it's kind of hard. He's been at all fastballs. It's kind of hard to throw that curveball in the situation here. The last thing you want to do is try to, you know, walk the tying run.
I think you got to challenge him. Even if he hits it out, you still have the lead.
Swing and a foul tip.
Kenny, can you imagine Flaherty was up here, and he said that really doesn't hurt when you take one off the mask. It's hard to understand how that doesn't hurt right there.
Well, you know he's a tough guy. Number one.
Flash or Cervelli?
Oh.
3-2. Driven out into center field. Going back is Granderson. He's going to turn and play it off the wall. Played the carrot nicely as Laurie's at second with a double.
Kenny, he saw a lot of the same pitch, but I think as Robertson, you hadn't really commanded that curveball yet in the inning. You hadn't needed to, and you keep going to the fastball. Drove it out to right center field.
This young Laurie is impressive. We saw the play in the field, but this is his 33rd hit in the major leagues. 7 doubles, 4 triples, and 7 home runs.
That's going to bring up Aaron Sibia and also force Rothschild to go to the phone.
And more than half his hits are for extra bases so far.
Is that our phone or their phone going off there?
Pitch outside. Home run for Aaron Sibia.
say now I think it's going to get tougher to get these 3 outs with just the fastball. You need to start commanding that curveball where you can use it. Good one there.
5th player, last 40 years, hit 20 more homers as a catcher his rookie season. Last one to do it was Giovanni Soto of the Cubs. The 1-1. Strike.
Matty Nose was on that list.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
Eddie's locked in. Got a friend as well.
Double stare down out there. Different at bat here. Then Lowry saw all fastballs and got into a count where he knew he was going to get a fastball. Now you've seen a strike ball, curveball thrown for a strike. Now if you're a hitter, both of those pitches on your mind.
Aaron Laffey and Corey Wade. Joe Girardi trying to piece it together without Mariano Rivera and Soriano available. 1-2. 2-2.
Doesn't that kind of set up the curveball here, Kenny? That high fastball.
Up in his eyes. And go downstairs.
Two.
Fastball again, down low. Ball's down.
See Cervelli try and help him out, bring that glove back up towards the zone.
Stays alive.
Yeah, Aaron Sivry is dangerous. He's got the 20 home runs, as Michael told you, but he's also got some holes in his swing. I mean, he's struck out 118 times in about 377 at bats. So if you keep it out of his happy zone, maybe you can get him.
You know, every foul ball, every pitch, you got to feel that Joe Girardi's just kind of just trying to get this thing over without bringing out Robertson, but you cannot let him throw too many pitches.
This will be the first time since July 24th, over a month ago, that Robertson has thrown 30 pitches in an appearance. So the next pitch will be his 30th. 3-2. Grounded to third. Alex Rodriguez gets out on Sivia for the second out. So the Yankees 1 out away from a win.
Well, Robertson went to the curveball there, and it wasn't his best, but because it was a different speed, he got an out. All kind of hung up in the zone. We'll see if he puts a swing on it, but looking dead fastball, I'm sure. We're getting Nick Swisher a little workout over there at first.
That leaves it up to Mike McCoy. Runner at second, 2 outs. Yankees lead 6-4. We're in the top of the 9th. Robertson trying to complete his second inning and get the save.
Because the Blue Jays had to use so many players early in the game, they really don't have a left-handed hitter to bat for McCoy here. Whereas you might have had Tien or Wise be able to come up in this spot.
They have a kid, Brian Girolman. That's the only lefty left.
He's a catcher, though. He's the backup catcher.
About managing the bullpen and things like that. We have 1 day off this whole month. So I mean, tomorrow is going to be available. Robertson's not going to be available. It's just it's going to, you know, this cycle is going to go, especially as well as the Yankees are playing. A lot of situations where the bullpen are going to finish these games out.
We're down to the final stretch over Blue Jays. Wow, a little tumble there by Laurie. Sellout crowd, many on their feet. The 1-2, swung on a miss. Yankees win the game 6-4, and you can put this one on the left side. 3 in a row for the Yankees as Robertson picks out a 2-inning save. Stick around for the postgame show to find out who's today's Chevy player of the game. Well, the Yankees were able to withstand a home run by Lynn, a home run by Dwayne Wise, and they came back with 3 runs in the 7th inning to nail this one. And there's strike 3. And it's the first save for Robertson since August 12th of 2010 as McCoy swings through, and the Yankees win. So whatever the Red Sox and the Rangers do at Fenway, Yankees will still be in first place when they come to the ballpark tomorrow. 6-10-0 for the Yanks and 4-8-0 for the Toronto Blue Jays. And the Yankees have taken the first 2 games of this 3-game set, so they win another series. Big hero in the game, Robinson Cano, with a 2-run double in the 7th inning, and that gave the Yankees the lead. And Robinson is with Kim Jones.
He is indeed, Michael. And Robinson, you're now 4 for 8 in your career against Casey Janssen. What's the key to battling back there? You had an 0-2 count and obviously come up with a big hit here.
Well, I was looking for something middle in, and good thing is just I don't know if he was trying to throw a quarter there, but it was a pitch like middle in, and good thing I didn't miss that one.
Good thing, yeah. What does a hit like that feel like? You know that Alex Rodriguez, batting third today, has walked just ahead of you. You know those go-ahead runs are on base.
Well, it's I always say every time I hit behind him, just take advantage. If they walk him, that means they want to pitch to me. So I was ready the whole way, and like I said, thank God I come through in the big situation again.
Those were RBIs number 100 and 101 on the season for you. For the second straight year, more than 100 RBIs. What does that mean to you?
It's mean like I always say, hard work paid off, and you know what? That guy that I put up in the whole season, even during the season with Kalon, and also my teammate that they gave me and asked him about women's scoring position, has been helping, and I hope I can continue doing it the rest of the season. Yeah,
so do the Yankees. Robinson, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Michael, back to you.
Thank you, Robinson, and thank you to Kim as well. So Robinson now with a 100 RBI total, actually 101. And Jesus Montero made some personal history, picked up his first big league hit. So all around a good day for the rookie and for the Yankees as they win.